You've had time to reflect on the Wales game, Eddie. The good, the bad, and the ugly, please. What was it?
No, well, there wasn't much good. We were completely outplayed by Wales. They were far too strong for us, too disciplined. The only thing I can say for this young team is they kept fighting. And we had a period in the first half where we missed an opportunity to make the score 10-9, and ended up the other end 13-6, and we lost a bit of oomph from that, which is disappointing, mate.
Kind of a catch-22. You know, young players need the experience to play in tournaments, and at the same time that you need experienced players. So it must be tough trying to balance the two, and obviously then you get criticised as well.
Yeah, well, you're always going to get criticism, so yeah, that's not an issue. But I came in and I had to build a team. I didn't feel the team that was there was good enough to win a World Cup. So I decided to go with the younger squad, and I believe this is our strongest squad. But it's not strong enough to play Test rugby consistently at the moment. You know, we play Wales on the weekend. They got 855 caps. We've got 455, and you take 132 out for James Slipper, it doesn't leave you too many. You know, you don't have to be brilliant at maths to work out. That's about 20 caps per player. And when you got 20 cap players, you know, they struggle in the highest pressure, and Wales just squeezes us to death, mate.
You mentioned that it takes 4 to 6 years, from your point of view, to develop a team good enough to win a tournament. When you took this job, did you have this chat with the hierarchy at Rugby Australia, and do they understand?
Well, I think they understand, but at the same time, you know, we wanted to be optimistic about the chances of winning the World Cup. And yeah, in the end, we're not good enough to win a World Cup, but yeah, they understand there's a rebuilding process to do there, and at some stage this had to happen for Australian rugby. We had to bring in some new players, fresh blood, build a new team, create a new spirit, and it comes with a bit of pain, mate, and we're going through that pain now.
From your point of view, what do you feel needs to be changed with Australian rugby?
Well, I think, there's systematic things that need to be changed, but that's not really my responsibility. With this group of players, we need time together, and the longer we train together, the harder we train, the more connected we get, the better we'll get.
You seem a very relaxed person, Eddie, but your job comes with a lot of pressure, so how do you personally deal with the stresses of this job?
When I took this job specifically, I knew it was going to be difficult. I knew it was going to be a difficult job, and when you come in and you've been away, the expectation's pretty high, so that probably made it even more difficult. But I just love coaching, mate. I was thinking today, like I'm out there at 63, I'm on the field, beautiful sunshine, 32 of the best players in Australia. They're all training hard. We're all trying to do our best to be better, and it's just like, to me, it's the most wonderful experience. So I can accept the criticism. I can accept that people think I'm not good enough. And it's not for me to judge whether I'm good enough or not, it's for others to judge, but I love coaching and I love the game, mate. I love the game, and I think this World Cup's been incredible.
Mathematically, still everything to play for. Looking at this Portuguese squad, what have you made of them so far?
Oh, they're bloody fascinating, mate. I think, I don't know Legisco very well. I only met him a couple of times very briefly. But he reminds me what he's done with Portugal, very similar to what we did with Japan. He's developed a style of play that suits their players. They're a wide passing team. They've got a lot of sevens players in their backline, so they've got good feet and good passing and catching skills. And then they've got a reasonably tough pack of forwards. So they've played. I thought they played exceptionally well against Georgia.
How do you expect your team to respond, Eddie?
Well, I'm expecting a good response, mate. I have never doubted the care of these players or the attitude of these players. They're a good bunch of young men finding their way, and I think we'll rip in on Saturday.
Quite an eventful 8 months you've had. I mean, you're reading the headlines, you've got things like terrible run of form, dreadful media relationships, shunning experienced players, apparent secret job interview, history-making World Cup failure, Seems everybody and everything is against Eddie Jones. How do you take this, and what do you think of these?
Well, that's the first time I've heard it, mate, so it's all news to me. I probably guessed some of those things have been said, but yeah, that's I made a choice to go in this job. No one's forced me to do it, and yeah, there's a good part of it. You know, you go to a World Cup and you have wonderful experience, which I've had. You go to a World Cup and you have a bad experience and you just cop it on the chin, and then someone decides whether they give you another go or they're not. But I love the game. You know, as I said, I've loved this World Cup. I've loved the experience of coaching a young team. But you know, I'm extremely disappointed with the results and disappointed that we haven't given our supporters more to cheer about.
Last question. I mean, you mentioned there the love of the game. You do live and breathe football, as we talked about earlier about some coaching those kids. What is the future for Eddie Jones?
Look, we'll be coaching, mate. I'll be coaching. You know, I love coaching, whether it be the St Galmier under 15s or Bordeaux under 20s. You know, I want to keep coaching. I want to keep trying to coach a game that people want to watch. You know, it hasn't been too good this year for us. We've had bits and pieces, have been some spectacular rugby, but not enough of it. So I just want to keep coaching, mate.
Thank you, Eddie Jones.
Good on you, mate. Good man.